In September 2006, Barbara Walters and the ladies of The View welcomed Rosie O'Donnell back to daytime television. Rosie was ready to go, full speed ahead.
It's my first day on The View. I'm in the Meredith chair, and it's exciting.
For heaven's sakes, what's all the fuss about?
Well, it's about our new set. What do you think?
Actually, the set is nice.
Isn't it nice?
And we chose the color.
Yes. Not only did we choose the color, we said we don't want it to look like someone's grandmother's living room anymore.
I think it's difficult to be in this program. You get in trouble if you're not willing to expose yourself. Yeah.
And I'm willing, Lord knows. In fact, I'm getting naked now.
Rosie O'Donnell was born in Queens, New York in 1962. At 10, she lost her mother to cancer, but that didn't stop her from wanting to make other people laugh. O'Donnell got her first big break in The Burbs.
I saw Rosie at the East Side Comedy Club in Huntington, Long Island, and she was really funny.
She came over to me and said, you know, I'm Ed McMahon's daughter. I'm going to get you on Star Search. And I went, yeah, right. And she did.
She went on to win 5 weeks in a row.
Look at all the men going, this bitch ain't so funny. Bring back Tim Allen. It's a funny guy, Tim Allen. Not too good in bed, but a funny man. And Tim's in the back going, you couldn't buy it, bitch. But that's okay.
TV and film roles quickly followed.
She was a good actress, and she was funny, and she could improvise.
But O'Donnell was insecure about her private life.
One of our first conversations was about how we were gay and how we were both starting out our careers, and we were very out people, meaning that we were out to our friends and our families, yet we didn't know quite where to place that in our professional lives, and no one was asking us, really, and we didn't know quite the steps to take.
I have an idea for you and me when I come on.
In 1996, the comic launched a feel-good daytime talk show.
When I thought of doing this, I hoped to be on at 4 or 5, the time that Mike Douglas and Merv Griffin were on. When I was a little kid, 8 years old, I used to run home and watch those shows with my mom and my grandmother, and it was the kind of programming that generations could watch together, and that's my hope for making this show accessible to kids as well as their parents.
O'Donnell's easy way with guests got her pegged the Queen of Nice.
The day that came out, she was like, what the heck is that? I don't know what are they talking about?
After 7 years as Oprah's #1 rival, Rosie quit the show to spend more time with her family. The 40-year-old funny lady also came out publicly as a lesbian. In 2004, she married her life partner, Kelly Carpenter. By the time O'Donnell signed on to The View, she was ready to just be herself.
Rosie O'Donnell had been the Queen of Nice on her old show, but she had completely reinvented herself since then. Now she was the outspoken, politically conscious, whatever.
Well, I think Rosie and I are like pretty much in line with all of our political philosophies.
And the idea that Rosie O'Donnell was going to be able to share a stage with other people as equals was absurd. You knew that she was going to kind of take it over. And she did. I mean, in the first episode, she took a deep breath and she kept going.
You know, the show's called The View. You're supposed to give your view, and that's what I do. I'm not trying to hurt anybody, just trying to call it as I see it.
In December 2006, Rosie locked horns with mega mogul and beauty pageant co-owner Donald Trump. After news reports linked Miss USA Tara Conner to drinking and cocaine use, Trump very publicly declared that she should keep her crown.
I've always been a believer in second chances. I've always been. Tara is a good person. Tara has tried hard. Tara is going to be given a second chance.
Rosie's issue was that she did not believe that Donald Trump should have been the one deciding any of this. But Rosie reached over in front of her co-host and she flipped her hair over, and she actually kind of looked like Donald Trump. He was outraged about it because clearly everybody jokes about Donald and his comb-over hair. Donald was incensed, and any show that would book Donald Trump, he was on calling Rosie O'Donnell a degenerate.
She's not very intelligent, which she's not. She's had many failures in her life, which she has. People called me and they said, oh, gee, she just did like 15 minutes of stuff on you. I really had no choice. When somebody attacks me, I attack back.
The mudslinging made national headlines and scored The View some of its highest ratings ever. But an even bigger fight was heating up between Rosie and co-host Elizabeth Hasselbeck.
I'm a gamer, and I like a challenge, and I think that she and I will kind of, we'll go at it sometimes, but I think we're civil too.
Once Rosie got on with her very liberal, very strong opinions on all the things that she believed in, Elizabeth was the polar opposite, and they began to have these engaging debates. Almost at times it came across as if they were, about to come to blows. I mean, the verbal altercations were very, very intense.
And we're going to the Can we go to the batting cage?
Next, please.
Sorry.
Let's go.
Elizabeth has stuck by her guns in terms of being really against some of the things that Rosie supports most staunchly. Things like gay marriage, things like whether or not we should be in Iraq.
The on-set tension challenged the very concept of The View, that the co-hosts were just gabbing girlfriends. In April 2007, O'Donnell announced she would not be back next season. Then on May 23rd, the claws really came out.
That May 23rd show was very intense. Rosie and Elizabeth never spoke to each other backstage. The tension was so thick you could cut it with a knife.
Rosie claimed Elizabeth did not defend her on another talk show when conservative pundits criticized O'Donnell for remarks she made about civilian casualties in Iraq.
The producers were on the sideline saying, go to commercial, go to commercial. And Rosie said, no, we're not going to commercial. That day, they fought tooth and nail, and Elizabeth was not backing down.
Producers cut to split screen so they wouldn't miss a beat as O'Donnell and Hasselbeck went at each other.
I thought it made great television. I thought it was terrific television. I think each actually held their own. It was really uncomfortable, but I enjoyed it a lot.
O'Donnell chose to leave The View 3 weeks early.
She was just like, I'm cutting my losses. I'm out of there.
Rosie wasn't hurting for work. She signed to reprise her guest starring role on the hit series Nip Tuck. Other View alums thrived as well. Meredith Vieira continued as co-anchor of The Today Show, and Debbie Matenopoulos found success on E's Daily 10.
Fergie Ferg's coming off a summer tour. She's found domestic bliss, and the glamorous one has managed to carve out a little time to design her own line of handbags.
The first to leave The View was also the first to be welcomed back as a guest host.
Debbie, you're exactly the same.
She has not changed. Listen, just in case you don't recognize her, recognize her face, this is Debbie Matenopoulos, our original young one.
I was young once.
You still are. We've all decided you haven't changed at all in almost 7 years. You're still as adorable and ditzy.
And as klutzy.
Lisa Ling stayed at National Geographic Explorer and did investigative segments for The Oprah Winfrey Show. In May 2007, she married oncologist Paul Song. And then there's Star Jones, who returned to her TV roots.
After Star's exit from The View, she was taking meetings with anybody. All the networks wanted to meet with her. Everybody had ideas. There was even some rumblings at some point that Donald Trump may develop some type of show for her. But in the end, it was Court TV, which is now known as True TV, that courted Star and basically restructured and rebranded the whole network with her becoming the face of it.
Jones also came clean about her incredible weight loss. In the September 2007 issue of Glamour magazine, she admitted undergoing gastric bypass surgery 4 years earlier. Few were surprised by the revelation. Meanwhile, speculation ran wild over who would become the next permanent host on The View. Barbara Walters wasn't talking. On August 1st, one replacement was finally revealed. Actress and comedienne Whoopi Goldberg.
I think for The View, she's kind of controversial enough to say some good stuff and be kind of wild, but at the same time, I don't think that she's going to stray. Barbara wants somebody who's not going to totally take the spotlight from Barbara.
And when the show returned in the fall, there was a second new face, comedienne Sherry Shepherd.
She's probably guest hosted more than everyone else, and she brings a certain funny, but like peaceful balance to the show that I think they could really need.
Season after season, this remarkable and tumultuous show continues to reinvent itself.
It was a filler show. It was a something to pass the time show, and now it's really a show that people want to have as a cultural touchstone.
It showed that women can just go on television and just be themselves. I think that's a pretty tremendous statement, and to make that work in the daytime market, which is notorious for failure, is pretty impressive.
Let me now say what we all say for the 2000th time. Have a great day, everyone. Take a little time to enjoy the view.
This is the world of TV dating.